Oftentimes, believers feel overwhelmed in life. Sometimes it's our surrounding situation, the neighborhood we live in, the country we are in, or the international scene and interaction amongst nations. Sometimes we're overwhelmed by just like the responsibilities we have in life, what I need to do, what I need to do in the sight of God. Sometimes we are overwhelmed by the guilt and our past of what we have done. This is why it's good to understand what Jesus Christ has done for us. And we are in our passage, Colossians chapter 1, and we are in a section of this great introductory chapter where Paul reminds us of what Jesus Christ has done for us. I'm going to read verse 13 on. It goes like this. He has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption and forgiveness of sins. Just two verses, but they're very, very powerful verses. First, it tells us that we have been actually moved into a new nation, have a new citizenship. We are in the kingdom of our God, transferred from the authority or domain of darkness. You see, the difficult part is we live in a situation that is imperfect. There's been no time in human history, no nation that has ultimately upheld the perfect standard of God. There have always been victims and people who have experienced injustice in this world. And you know what? We need to do things to help humanize the situations and nations we are in. But the sad fact is, because we are fallen, we will never have a perfect government or a perfect country or a perfect nation. Here's the good spot. According to Colossians chapter 1, we have already been transferred into a new kingdom. It's not to say that the things in this life and this nation aren't real. They are real and they are imperfect. It's just that for the believer of Christ, we have a new sense of confidence, a new hope, a new peace, because the transaction and the citizenship into the kingdom of our Lord has already been done. That may help you be anchored in peace as we live in a distressed time in our nation and in our world's history. But more than that, according to the Apostle Paul, we have been redeemed. Now, this is a very interesting term. It has to do with sort of a financial transaction. It was an economic type of term. It was a marketplace term. Sometimes we feel, what do I need to do? There's so much to do. You know, I'm a parent. I am a husband. I'm a grandfather. So many things to do. I'm a pastor at Peninsula Bible Church. Sometimes we are overwhelmed by the responsibilities that we have. It's all do. You know, what does God want from me? I have no more time in this week or this day. Here's an important sort of reminder in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1. We have been redeemed. Jesus Christ has paid a price for us because ultimately we cannot pay the price for ourselves. We need the external Son of God to pay it for us. And in some way, it takes all the burden of you having to do all these things off your back. Doesn't mean you don't do anything anymore. It means the responsibility to be freed and to be, I guess, in a real sense, to be free from the agony of responsibility as you pick up your responsibilities is on the back of Jesus Christ. The final one is that we have a forgiveness of sins. We all have a past. Even those who deny they have a past, they probably have a worse past because they're in denial and they don't know it's of the heart. You know, sometimes we think of the past as of the action, but it's of the heart. It's of what you think. It's what you have done in life. And sometimes we are overwhelmed by guilt. We all do things that we regret. Here's the important fact. We cannot let that overwhelm us as believers in Jesus Christ. Sure, we try not to do the wrong thing and hurt more people or hurt ourselves. But at the end of the day, we have been forgiven by Jesus Christ. And that's all that really matters. See, a peace in situation, an understanding that the transactional burden of responsibility and payback has been done by Jesus, and the fact that we have been forgiven. You know, as followers of Jesus Christ, we must always remind ourselves of these things, because too often we bear it upon ourselves to make the corrections of life, rather than to understand what Jesus has done for us and to accept and to be at peace with it.